want you feeling, got that Bastion bass. Solo, duo, trio, group, modular, up in this space. Shotties in the roof, ruining your day, ruining your play. Going deep, nah, they just wipe and erase. And if you want a trap here, fine. What about a furnace right behind this door? Drop a bag of bare meat and burn it. We're cooking, dry box for days like Dean Hall. Flip that working repair bench right against the wall. Now let me show you why I call this the Bastion base. This the tour, the showcase, funky style workplace. Get the drop on the radar, no headshots, no way. Picking up from all sides, high, low, all day. 25 satchels just to get to the first loot, or call it 20 rockets to drop the TC. 27 more satchels just to get to the second loot. All these other builders wish they could be like me.
Where did you get that gear from?
Rustplus.com, helping you get the skills you want.
G'day guys, Snow here coming at you with, once again, another base build. Personally, I feel like this is probably one of my better base builds. And listen, the whole point behind this base build is that it's completely modular. Now, pretty much every base build that you see on YouTube, especially mine, should be treated as basically a footprint that you expand upon and you should change to meet your needs. But I guess myself and a lot of other builders, we don't always make this obvious. And I guess the reason we don't make that obvious is because we feel like it should be obvious, but it's not. So just because of the amount of comments I get saying, oh, you know, it's only this many rockets to the loot, or it's only, you know, this. I'm showing you, like, usually I'm showing you the core footprint, right? And it's up to you as a builder, as a user, as a viewer of my videos to go ahead and modify it. You think you need more bloody rockets to your loot, then you change it. You add in a little bit extra, a few extra walls, or whatever works for you in the long run. So this time around, I'm going to be building one base, but I'm also going to show you that you can actually modify this with a few simple modifications. You can completely change this base, the entire front end, and you can even do it at the back end if you want. So let's start off. If I do make a few mistakes, I'm sorry. This is probably like the third or fourth time I've recorded this video. Yeah, you know what? Let's just get right into it. All right, so find a nice little area. It probably doesn't need to be too much bigger than this. You can go smaller than this, probably not too much, but yeah, just enough for, as you saw in the intro. Hope you enjoyed that intro, by the way, bit of fun there. As you saw in the intro, you know, it's not a huge base, but it can be expanded upon, so leave room for expansion. So drop down a square foundation, and right behind that, this one is essential. You need to bring up the triangle foundation behind it, right? This is essential for what we're going to do with the roof. So we can add a triangle here, and a triangle here. From here, we want to add a triangle up on both sides, making sure that we get a half wall, placing it in these positions. From here, we want to go with lower square foundations on each of these sides. You can go ahead and add triangles to these slots. And so if we go up in the air here, we can see we've got our basic footprint. This is like sort of this is the heart and soul of this modular base. This is what you're working off of. If you can kind of see, it kind of looks like there's 3 ninja stars or something intersecting with these 2 triangles at the front. It's very simple. So we're going to go straight into metal for the example here, because pretty much all of this is essential to be metal eventually. And from here, we can go ahead and add walls here, 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 sheet metaling those up straight away. Now we have a roof piece here, but we don't want to sheet metal that one up straight away because there are two ways to place a TC in here. Now the first way is, okay, let me explain this. If we go ahead and sheet metal this up, you can't place the TC any further back, right? In order to get the TC further back, you have to rotate it and then, you know, drop it down and rotate it back again, and it's a whole mess. It's just a pain in the ass. So in order for the TC to fit in here, we actually have to leave it twig until we do place down the TC. And now you can see that it sits significantly further back. So drop that one down. Now you can go ahead and sheet metal that up. And whilst you're here, go ahead and add a box in here. Now you might realize what I'm doing now. This one was shown to me by a fellow called Alpha, and then obviously eventually shown on another YouTuber's channel. But it certainly does have its histories back since the introduction of the half walls. So essentially what you want to do is place two half walls. You can go ahead and sheet metal the top wall, half wall up. Get rid of this bottom half wall and throw a low wall. And again, sheet metal that up. Now, essentially what that does is once the raider comes along and breaks this TC and this box, they won't actually be able to get the loot that drops, right? So I'm not going to demonstrate it here. It's on a bunch of other videos. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so this is our little security for our TC. Now we can go ahead, because we place these walls inside of these TCs, we can just go ahead and throw that down. And now we can run across and build and all that stuff without having to worry about falling down into that little hole. So go ahead and place your roof over this. The next step is we want to work on our loot rooms. So as you saw in the intro there, we've separated our loot rooms on completely opposite sides of the base here to make it as hard as possible for any potential raiders to come along and get everything. So they have to work extra hard basically to get to everything. Any experienced builder will tell you you need to split your loot up around your base. So let's go down and drop walls in these positions. Now you can place a wall here, but for the example of the front end, as I said, it is a modular base. So the example of the front end, I'm going to leave that one open. Go ahead and sheet metal this all up and do the same on the other side. Go ahead and add walls in these positions. On both sides, add yourself roofs and fill in these slots. Now again, you can save metal by just using stone here, but again, it's going to be difficult to get to these parts later, so I just suggest going with metal as soon as possible. You can go ahead and add a triangle piece here and steel that up, and continue adding a second level around the base. So we're going to skip that other bit over there for now. We can go ahead and add this part as stone or metal. I'm going to add the interior as metal and the outside as stone. So stone here and metal here. Now, if you come to a spot like this where it can be somewhat difficult to place a wall on top of another half wall, this is a full wall, but it's halfway up. A simple fix to that is just dropping down a twig floor and then placing your coincidentally in this position, we do need the floor piece here anyway. So go ahead and add double door frames in these 4 positions. And go ahead and add floors. We can use these parts. We could add more loot in here, or we could add a, level 3 workbench and repair benches, or use them for loot. But personally, I want to protect my loot down below a little better. So I'm going to go ahead and use floors on these parts. Then go ahead and add half walls here. Now I'm not going to add it to this part because I will be using this as a loot area. So what we can go ahead and do is add our double door frame there, and along here we're using half walls and roofing that off. Inside here we can add a single door frame here and a wall here. Go ahead and lock that off. And now you can start adding in all your loot and your boxes and everything. So let's go down here and add in these squares. Go ahead and add shelves in these positions. And just like we did with the bear claw, go ahead and add 4 small boxes in these positions. Above these, we can add some more boxes. Now, if you do find yourself struggling to maneuver around in this space, it's as simple as throwing down some twig and dropping down what you need. We can go ahead and add small boxes. Now at the top here, we're going to do the same here, but we can also fit in a couple of large boxes in these positions. So if you go ahead and try and get as far into the corners as possible, just to get out of the way, then continue on. Now you could fit small boxes here. There is a possibility that you'll find it difficult to jump up here and start getting to the boxes. So I prefer to essentially have these ones out of there just so I can jump up here and, you know, again, throw that down and start looting to get rid of it and all that jazz. Cool. All right, so now we want to go ahead and add our garage doors to everything. And then we have the core of the base all secured up, incredibly hard to get into. We can go around the back here and add a little bit of more security. Obviously we want to finish up adding the walls. We can finish filling all that in, and then we can add in a couple of foundations. You can go higher or low, it's up to you. In this instance, I just feel like going higher. You can go ahead and make those stone and add your walls in, and that just adds in a few more rockets that the raiders need to get to your TC. All right, so now that we've done the main base, we can get onto essentially the modular part of the base. There are several different designs we can go with. We can go ahead and finish off our circular triangle area and add in things like this, and then basic design off something like this, or even something like this. These are all valid designs. For this instance though, I'm going to go with the 2 squares at the front, triangles in these positions, higher here and lower there, and we can go ahead and stone all these up. This will be our front door, so go ahead and add that there on both sides. Add ourselves walls here. And here. From this point, we can go ahead and start on our furnace areas. So if we drop a half wall here and a half wall here, we can go ahead and start placing down our furnaces in these areas. In this spot, we can fit a research tape with a triangle over the top and a doorway here. Continue up with the walls. In here, we can fit a barbecue and perhaps a water purifier, although to be honest, no one really uses these from what I understand. Go add a small wall there and a triangle floor piece over the top. Throw your door frame in and your walls. Add a triangle piece over the top on both sides. You can add a door frame here dropping down square floors above. Down here we can fit another furnace in these positions. And from here we want to add our U-shaped stairs. Go ahead and stone those up. And adding another door frame here. A half wall here. Alright, from here we can go ahead and add our door frame there. And just to make it easier when placing down these next parts, I'm going to add a temporary wall there. Dropping down a wooden box at the back here and a door facing in. On here we can add our walls. And from here we want to add half walls in these spots. And again, probably need to jump down here and add in our double door frame before we get too far ahead. Now you might have noticed I made a little bit of a change here as well. So if you remember, under here is where our doorway is. We can add in a floor piece there, but then go ahead and add our half here, falls here, and a fall above that instead of another half. So that way we can go ahead and stone all these three parts up. Then go down here and add our little wall there. And that's how we get our bunker. Now this does sort of mess up with your stability a bit, but again, you know, look at us, we're at 50, minimum of 50% stable there, so it's not too bad. Again, like, a lot of this might even change. Like, a lot of this has changed from, basically from my little rap intro there to now. Like, it's okay for a lot of things to be different because you do actually want things to be different. You shouldn't be following this exactly as I put it down, because then other people are going to know exactly what's going on with your base. Yeah, so go ahead in here and add that there. And this is where we're adding our work and repair bench. Now, if you were to do this beforehand, you could actually throw in some more boxes above here, just depending on how that would all work out. So if you were to do that before placing these floors down, you can add in at least 1 or 2 more boxes. And over here we can add our drop boxes. Do want to leave a bit of room here to get up, otherwise you will find it difficult jumping up on here. In here we see we've got access to this research table because of it clipping through the floor from the back there. So yeah, we don't actually need specific access directly to that because, again, weird models means it comes through the floor. Down here we can drop all our sleeping bags. Now if we didn't have this half wall here that we placed earlier, we could actually put a double door there or pretty much anything like that, but I don't know, I don't really find that one completely necessary. Again, this one's just getting through to furnaces, and there is a door there. Go ahead and place a bit of comfort on the roof there. Obviously don't forget to add your doors. And as you can see here, we can access both of these drop boxes here. In this section, we could add a trap in this part. We could be a turret, for example. So simply leaving it on inside and then closing the door when we want to go out, just in case, you know, just to stop anybody from actually realizing there's one in there. So if you were getting raided, somebody's jumping in, going in through your door, you get through your door, you'd make sure this is open, and it's going to be a bit of a hard time for them. Personally, I mean, why waste the space? Might as well just use it for, might as well throw some furnaces in there and utilize the space. Can never have enough furnaces, huh? I mean, to be fair, there are already a significant amount of furnaces in space, so it isn't necessary. We want to have these shotgun traps up as high as possible to stop people from coming in and looking straight up. Right, at this point, yes, they can look straight up and then, oh shit, they'll see the shotguns before they start getting blasted. So place the twig roof there and ta-da, you know, they come in, that breaks, starts raining bullets down upon them, and you've got yourself some free loot. Alrighty, so there we have it. That is the Bastion base. I hope you enjoyed this one. Again, like, completely modular. As I said at the start there, you just need to be a little bit creative on how you want to change this one up. You could add more area at the back here and then add in, like, you know, instead of having walls and stuff here, have ways to get up through here and then down through the back here, and you got more base there, completely sealing off the middle section. You can expand more at the front here. Again, you can change, instead of having two squares here, you have these triangles back here and then squares at the front, or basically anything you want to. And again, like, it's all about adding in your own touch, you know. Obviously right off the bat you want to be able to make sure you can seal off as much as possible, but yeah, that little sheet metal part is essentially like the hardest part of the base. That's the core of the base, and that's where all your good stuff and all the hard to reach stuff should be going. So yeah, we'll just go through and have another look. So we've got our little furnaces off the side, we've got our shotgun traps up top, drop boxes here, our little bag room and heal up room with our comfort. You know, we can start cooking down here, get some more furnaces over here and here. There's our research, there's more furnaces. Again, I know I went a little bit overkill on the furnaces, not completely necessary. And in here is your cache. Like, you've got your main loot, so you've got your first loot in the door here, then you got more loot over here, more loot up top, over here, over here, over here. I mean, then you get down to your TC. It's like pretty much incredibly hard, and not only hard to raid, but like hard for somebody who doesn't know the layout of your base. It's going to be hard for them to hard to figure out where to go next, especially with all these garage doors. That's the situation. Do I go right? Is there going to be loot, or is it going to be TC? And then you get through here, you're like, okay, you'll go through there. There's the TC, that's cool, but then where's all the rest of the loot? Through here, finally through here. Yeah, seriously, dude. I think that the core of this base is pretty tight, pretty solid. And again, you add more honeycomb on the outside and you've got like something that's going to be incredibly difficult for any raider to not only get into, but take over. Alright guys, I'm Tom Snow for Red Dragon Gaming. This is the Bastion base. Hope you've enjoyed. Listen, there's a couple of things I want you to check out. If you have the time, if you stuck around this far, congrats. Appreciate you doing so. If you can jump on the Discord channel, there will be a link in the description. Come and say hi. Don't just join it and be quiet. But if you do want to join it, come in and say hello, ask questions, or just like join in, play a game with us or something like that. We're pretty much around every night. Another thing is, so I know a lot of you don't enjoy having ads on videos, and I'm completely fine with that. I understand that 100%. So there's a new browser by the name of Brave. It's called the Brave browser, and it's created by not only the creator, like the person who created JavaScript, but one of the co-founders of Mozilla, and you might realize that Mozilla are the creators of Firefox. So one of the co-founders of Mozilla, they've got a new web browser out, and it's called the Brave browser. And it is all about not only removing ads, but removing all the trackers and all those stupid, and stopping, like you saw recently with Salon.com, where they were using a Bitcoin miner on people's machines. Like, that's crap. So instead of going through all that stuff, simply using the Brave browser, it removes all of, like, it stops people from mining, removes ads, and stops tracking. Now, the cool thing with this, it's also backed by a cryptocurrency system. So if you join with the link that I provide below, and then use that browser for 30 days, essentially I will get $5 USD, essentially the equivalent of $5 US dollars in basic access tokens. And yeah, this one helps me because I'm going to use those cryptocurrency tokens to support other YouTubers that sign up and verify. So as you know, a lot of smaller YouTubers right now have had their income cut from YouTube because they don't reach that threshold that that YouTube have imposed recently. So yeah, check out that link in the bottom. It's called the Brave browser, and there will be a specific referral URL that is down there too. All right, thank you again. I'm Tom Snow. Peace.
All these other builders wish they could be like me.